Okay, we're back with another lockdown battle report, and we're back with a new army, the Sisters, back, the growing in force. Happy to have them on the table now. And because we're in lockdown still in the UK, we're going to be playing the mission Lockdown from the chapter approved, the most recent one, 2019. So we'll quickly run through the mission. There's 6 objectives. There's objective marker 1 and 6. They are to stay on the battlefield. All the others can be removed corresponding to the turn number. So there's objective 1. The Orks have got objective number 6 in the corner there, and objective number 2, 3 in the distance there, 4 in front of the Orks, 5 down there. So at the start of turn 2, number 2 will be removed, which is there, and then they'll all start falling as the turn goes on. So read the mission if you're unfamiliar with it. If not, you'll see how easy it is as the game goes on. So here we have the expanding Adepta Sororitas force that we've got going. Still more to add, but at the moment we've got 1,500 points-ish on the battlefield. So we're using the Order of the Sacred Rose. We're going to be able to overwatch on 5s and 6s, and we have the ability to try and reimburse miracle dice as we spend them. So we've got 2 detachments here. So we've got 5 for a battalion, 3 for Battleforged, 1 because we've got a heavy support detachment in there as well. So the Warlord for the army is going to be Celestine, of course, so she's going to give us an extra miracle dice every turn at the start of every battle round, I believe. And we've got 2 bodyguard, the Gemini. We've got a Canoness, she's second in charge. She's got all the weapons that you see. She's got the Rod of Office, giving her a 9-inch radius of reroll 1s, which is very helpful. We've got the man who isn't Thaddeus as a HQ choice, so he will be using the rules for Thaddeus. And we've got a Hospitaller, so she's just a nurse, that's why she's on the smaller side. So she's going to go around healing her sisters. And then a new model we've got is the Imagifier, so she is a really good boon to your army. So when she's deployed, you pick one of 3 abilities. The ability that we're going to go for is any unit within 6 of her can count any AP minus 1 weapon as AP minus 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to give her a relic to expand that radius to 9 inches, so that's going to account for a big distance there. And then we are also going to spend 1 of our command points to give her an extra Warlord trait, and that's going to be Indomitable Belief. So she's also going to have a 9-inch radius for a +1 to the Sisters' invulnerable saves. So very helpful if we're getting hit by AP minus weapons. So the Canoness is also going to have a relic, so we're going to spend another command point for her, and she's going to have the ability to re-roll a miracle dice when we gain 1. So there's 2 command points blown there, but it's definitely worth it for the things they can do for the army. So troops, we've got 5 Sister Squad here with the Flamer Power Sword for the Superior. Got a 10 model unit here with 1 melter gun, 1 combi melter, power sword and a heavy flamer, and of course the simulacrum. And we've got a cherub with them as well, and then 5 more here. These have got a storm bolter and things like you see. So the 5 teams there, we've got an immolator for each, both with the immolation flamers, and we've got the 2 exorcists at the back. So these took ages to paint all those vehicles, so hopefully they don't get blown up in the first turn, but they can kick out a bit of damage if you let them. And then over here we've got a Retributor squad, 6 as part of the team here. We've got a Simulacrum, we've got 2 heavy bolters, 2 multi-melters, and 2 of the Armorium cherubs. Very useful stuff there. And the Superior's got a combi plasma. And then we've got the Repentia and the Penitent Engine. And then lastly we've got the Seraphim here.
Okay, we have 1,500 points of Orks, and led by Boss Magrot. As you can see, he's a bad moon, and so is his boys. He's wearing mega armour, and he has a gobshot thunderbuss, his teleport blaster. He has a cleverest boss stratagem that gives him a +1 wound and attack, and it gives him a weapon skill of 2+, which is very handy since he's got a power claw. And of course he's got that best armour, which gives him a 4+ invulnerable save. And his compatriot there is the big mech Ogre Zap, and he has a custom force field projector, and he has that shiny shooter, and that costs a command point. And we've got over here a big machine. The Morgonaut has a custom force field, and it's had a custom job upgrade called Sparkly Bits, which allows him to shoot on 4+ to hit. Quite nice. And the other machine here being a shock dragster. And then we've got 5 bikers there, led by a boss with a big chopper. And we have a whole mess of boys here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 boy squads. Each of them have a knob with a rocket launcher, shooter combi. And I have a big shooter in the squad there, and a guy with bombs, or tank buster bombs, whatever they are. And then at the back there, speaking of tank busters, we have a squad of them. I think it's 9 there with a boss, and we have a couple of trucks, and we have the Pain Boy there. He's a pretty good fighter with his power claw, and that's the Bad Moons.
Okay, so just to go through the command points for the Bad Moons, they got 5 for being in a battalion, 3 for Battleforge, so they spend 1 for the custom job on the Morgonaut, making that hit on a 4, 1 for the extra relic for him having the dead shiny shooter, and 1 for the cleverest boss, enhancing the mech's profile, the warlord's profile. So 5 command points to spend there. There's some good orc stratagems, and let's see what the cleverest boss is going to do with them. Right, deployment for the sisters. We've got Celestine in the centre with the rest of the HQ. Basically all the characters are in there clustered together. We've got the Retributors, the 10 strong squad here, Immolators on each wing. There's the Repentia with backup there, and then the 2 Exorcists within the 9-inch range of the Canoness. So they're going to be reroll 1s. Huge 9-inch bubble for her, so we're trying to maximise that as best we can. And the deployment for Orks, we've got a bike squad at the back. We've got multiple units of boys here. We've got the custom force field, and we've got Splicer, the pain boy. He's going to give them all feel no pain. And then in this truck we've got a unit of boys, and then all the way on the left here we've got the what's it called, these vehicles. It's a shock jump dragster. There we go, remembered it the first time. And then in Deep Strike they've used a teleporter, which has brought them down to 1 command point left, but they've put in Deep Strike the Morgonaut here, and inside his belly is the Warlord with the blaster, teleport blaster, and then in teleporter again is this unit here. This is the tank busters in the truck, so he's keeping all of his heavy weapons and his tank busting equipment off the table, because the sisters will have turn 1 here. He's tried to roll the steal the initiative and it hasn't worked, so sisters guaranteed that first turn, just about ready to go. The last thing to mention is the sisters, they've got the Seraphim in the sky in reserve for themselves, so things to appear as the battle goes on. We're ready to fire the first shot. Okay, battle round 1 and first turn for the sisters. So a bit of bookkeeping to do before we kick anything off. So we have chosen our sacred right, and it was divine guidance. It just means if we roll a 6 to wound, it's an extra -1 AP on our guns. So pretty handy, but we've got pretty devastating weapons, so it might come up. Then we need to do our miracle dice. So we get 1 miracle dice because we are the sisters automatically, and then because Celestine's our warlord with her warlord trait, we get another 1, so we've got 2. So the first one is a 6, we'll have that. Second one is also a 6. Okay, the Emperor smiles upon us in our early movements. So this Immolator rolls forward onto this objective, and the Penitent Engine seeks cover, just filling up some of the board there. This Exorcist has stayed still because you can just see in the top left there we've got a line of sight to the shock jump dragster. So you will get cover from that, but we can draw a line on him. Over here the Retributors have gone to the wall. These can move and shoot heavy weapons without penalty, so they're in a good position there. The Sisters have moved up to get within bolter range. Celestine is up there to give her benefits as well. And over here the other Immolator swings a little bit further up the board, keeping hold of this objective, and the Repentia are in tow with them as well. Okay, so we've already done some small arms shooting. We had the bolt guns from this squad in range of that nearest Orc squad, killed one sadly, and then the heavy bolters from the Retributors opened up on them, killed another. Over here this Immolator took out 2 Orcs in that squad, and now we're going to fire the Exorcist. So the heavy bolter is going to fire at this squad here, and then we can see the truck through the windows there. So we're going to fire the Exorcist rockets at the truck through the windows. You will get a pretty good cover save there. So we're going to get 3d3 shots, so that's 1, 2 and a 3. Right, we're hitting on 3, so we'll reroll 1s because of the Canoness. Reroll 1s. Right, there's 4 hits, sorry. Wounding on 3s because it's strength 8, and we get 3 wounds. Now these 6s are extra AP -1 because of our Sacred Right. So these are AP -4, they're going to carve straight through your cover. That is AP -3, so you're going to be able to save on a 6 on that one because you've got cover.
Okay.
So on a 6 to try and save initially. No, so...
Well, I've got a 5 off the force field.
Alright, okay, so 5s for the other 2. I thought we was out of range with the custom force field. So he saves one of them, so you got 2 more to save on the custom force field. I didn't think you were in range there. Right, so 2 go through. Right, so it's D6 damage each. So there's a 4 and a 2, so you can ramshackle this one on a 6, that'll go down to damage 1. No, and this to be ramshackled. No, right, so there's 6 damage on the truck. And then we'll finish off with the heavy bolter at that unit as promised. So 3s to hit because it was stationary, 3s to wound, all 3. Right, so these are within range of the custom force field as well, so 5s to save for that unit. And there's 3 wounds to try and save.
Sorry.
Just save them. So 1 gets through, and he has got a pain boy. That's how they've been weathering this. There's multiple layers of saving, but he doesn't get that one because the pain boy needs 6s. So only 1 Orc goes down there. He's been saving pretty well with that squad. Right, so we've had our fun over there. We're going to move over here. This is where we really want the Exorcist to matter. So we're going to have this Exorcist firing everything into that shock jump dragster in the distance there. He's going to get a good cover save, but we still can't see him. So to help us out here, we're going to spend a command point, and we're going to use a stratagem called Devastating Refrain. Just allows us to re-roll the random shot dice just to try and secure as many shots as we can. So it's 3d3 again. So that's a 3, we'll keep that. We'll re-roll these because these were only results of 1. Right, that's much better. Doubled our output on each dice there. It's well worth using that stratagem. Right, 3s to hit the vehicle in the background. Reroll 1s because of the Canoness. Okay, all 1 can be re-rolled. Right, so we've got 5 hits so far. 3s to wound against this. Right, no rerolls there. 3 go through. That one's AP -4, these are AP -3, so you get the save on 6s for these 2. All go through. Right, this is pretty serious. So what we're going to do is we're going to use one of our 6s out of our miracle dice pool to make sure one of our damage is a 6, so we'll use that dice. So that's an automatic 6 damage for a miracle dice, and then these will be... Oh, well, we didn't even need to use a miracle dice there. It's just totally spanned it. It's knackered. There's no one around if it exploded, and that is first strike point picked up for the Sisters. Because we used a miracle dice there for an Order of the Sacred Rose unit, on a 5+, we can generate another one. No. And then last shots, we're just going to rake the side of that truck with the front of the immolator. We can see off the front of it. So this did move, so we're needing 4s to hit. We get 1, needing a 5. We do wound. 7 on a 5 there. Goes through, that's another point of damage. So 7 wounds taken on the truck, 3 left. And that's the end of the sister's first turn. So we're going to pick up some points here, because it's the end of your turn when you score for objectives. So we've got this objective, the central objective, and this objective. So there's 3 points for the sisters, an extra point for first strike in the corner. And I almost forgot, because we're still new with the sisters here, because I knocked out that unit, we generate a miracle dice for doing that as well. So our miracle dice is going to be another 6. There's 3 6s we rolled for the miracle dice. The Emperor smiles upon the faithful. Okay, turn 1 for the Orks. Steady advance on the left hand side here. They're making sure they're within 6 of the objective there, making sure they're all within 3 inches of the pain boy. The bikes push through the centre, so they're going to look to be the vanguard attack there, keeping this objective in front of this boy's unit as well, number 4. And over here is where it got risky for the Orcs. So because the truck was so damaged, he thought it was going to be easy to roll out there and take that objective. However, with the damage caused by the Exorcist, it was slowed right down, so he's had to dispense the Orcs. He needed a 5 to get onto this objective. He got it in the end. He had to use his last command point to re-roll to get there. He's just blown all his command points even before he's fired a shot. But he did get the objective in the end, because this is objective 3. This will be one of the first to go, or the third to go, second to go in fact. So he's got to get there early, make sure he grabs that. Right, so I've started shooting with the Orcs. So the big mech, he sounds the attack. So he fires with his dead shiny shooter, 12 shots coming in at the immolator. Doesn't get any hits.
Not a sausage.
This squad of Orcs here with the rockets and the shooters, they do a lot better. He gets actually 2 hits with his rocket, only wounds with 1 because he got a dagger. But anyway, he wounds with 1 rocket, and then he ended up wounding with 5 shooters as well. So we're going to save the shooters on 3s. So the immolator's taking 2 wounds, and then the rocket shot that we're talking about, what we're going to do is, because it's flat 3 damage, we're not even going to chance it. We're going to take 1 of our miracle dice, and we're going to pass that on a 6 automatically. We're not even going to chance it. So 2 wounds on the immolator, but there's still a lot more boys to fire with rockets in each squad. Alright, those Ork bikes, the war bikes, were the next in line to shoot at the immolator. I've never seen a dice roll like it. He got 11 6s for daggers and even more 5s. He got tons and tons of hits, tons and tons of wounds. 11 wounds to save on 3s for the immolator. It's absolutely frightening. So we've oh dear, there's 5, 6, 7, 8. It's been a bad roll. That would kill us because we've already taken 2 wounds. So what we actually, no, it's not, that's 7.
You took 3 from me, right?
No, I didn't take any from the rocket. So that's 7 wounds. We are alive with 1 wound left. And just remembered, because we saved that rocket with the miracle dice, I forgot to try and generate a miracle dice for being Order of the Sacred Rose. But no, we needed a 5+, we rolled a 1, no good. Right, small arms from the boys now. So this unit here is fired. They've done all of the shooter shots that they can into this sister squad, and the rocket is going at the immolator. So they've already done the shooter shots. 5 wounds on the battle sister squad here that we're going to need to save on 3s. We lose 2 battle sisters, so we'll just take the back ones like that. And then we've got a rocket. We haven't hit with the rocket yet. Thought we'll get this on camera because it's big stuff.
And the rocket's going at that.
The rocket at the immolator, of course. So on its last wound, needs a 5 to hit, doesn't get it. Alright, this unit of Orcs on the wing here have chosen the targets. They've shot as many shooter shots as they can into this battle sister squad again, and then the rocket and a single shooter are going at the immolator to try and finish that last wound off. So we've done the shots resolved on the sisters. There's been 2 wounds. Going to need to save on 3s. Save them both. And now it's the shots on the immolator to try and finish us off. So the rocket is in red. The shooter is in yellow. He's missed with the rocket, but he's hit with the big shooter. He rerolls 1s because he's a bad moon. So this is the reroll. He gets 2 hits. He needs 5s to wound. Let's clear these away. Oh, no, he doesn't get it.
It escapes.
And during all that, we've got to mention he did fire the truck as well to try and shave off the last wound, but didn't get the wound either. So I think that's all the firing he's got. The Immolator will escape on its last wound. And last things to shoot on this side, this posse of Orks, because they're advanced, they were hitting on 6s, tried on this Immolator, but no success because of trying to hit on 6s. Alright, the Bad Moon's already tore up about over here not being able to take that Immolator. He's ummed and ahed about a charge with the bike, so he needed a 10 to get there, but on a 10 he just didn't fancy getting shot because the Immolator would be able to hit him because it's got a range of 12. So he's left with the option of a long charge, but he'd end up getting flamed twice if he failed it. Once in the Overwatch and once in the following shooting phase. So he's trying to think in the future here. He's going to willingly give up the chance at first strike just so he doesn't get extra toasted. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom for the Orks. They've bottled that charge. But they are going to pick up all 3 points because they've got the objective there, an objective there, and they did get that objective with the command reroll. So a bit of fortune coming in there with the distance that they rolled to advance. So 3 points for the Orks, but they did not get that crucial first blood. Right, just a bit of bookkeeping at the end of the first battle round. So both sides have got 3 objectives each, so there's going to be no additional points scored there. It just goes to show how crucial rolling a 5 on that objective was in the end, because if he didn't get there, the Orks would be 1 point down and the Sisters would be an extra point up for holding more objectives. So it's just the little things that make the difference. And its morale checks will both be okay, and so will the Sisters. We've only lost 2 out of this squad, but the reason why we're going to do a morale check anyway is because we would auto pass no matter what we rolled. If we roll a 1, just like that, we gain a miracle dice. So it's superb heroism or something glorious title like that. But we roll a 1, which means we'll pass, and our miracle dice will be a 1. And because it's a battle round, her relic is to re-roll 1 miracle dice per battle round. So we're going to change that 1 to a 4. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's the start of the second battle round, Sisters turn 2. So first things first, we'll do our miracle dice. So we'll get 1 for being Sisters of Battle and 1 for having Celestine as our warlord. So 2 2s. We're going to use the Canoness because it's a different round to reroll that with a relic. We've got a 5 and a 2. So we've got a 5 and a 2 in the bank now, along with our 6 and a 4. So we've got a good spread of dice there. So more bookkeeping at the start of this turn. So for the mission, we're going to lose, because it's turn 2, objective number 2. So here it is here. So that now disappears. And we knew that was going to happen. So we'll go through why there's still such a presence over there. So over here, the Sisters started with the disembarkation here. So we've fanned out to create a denial zone here. There's Sisters occupying that building underneath, try and spread out. Make our 9-inch denial area for the Orks incoming reserves a bit harder for them. Also taking that objective with the Penitent Engine. The Immolator rolls on, and he's going to look to toast those Orks. Over here, stayed still with the Immolator. The Retributors have stayed still. There's a bit of a reshuffle going on here, so these Battle Sisters are now in rapid fire range of that nearest Ork unit. Celestine and the Imagifier in support to grant their benefits. This squad got out of the damaged Immolator, so they're going to try and protect their home objective. This came around the corner a little bit because we've now got a decent line of sight on the bikes. And this Immolator struggles forward 3 inches. It's only got 1 wound left, and its dying throws. It's going to try and cause as much havoc as possible with the flamers. The Repentia go around this way, and then the Seraphim, they drop into this corner of the board, so it might be a bit wasteful, but we've used that to make another denial zone in our own corner here to stop the Ork reserves coming in. So there's just no way they're getting in here. Okay, so we're going to have this Immolator fire all of its guns at that Ork unit. So the Immolation Flamer is going to get 9 shots. That's pretty good. Okay, so it's basically a double heavy Flamer with a 12-inch range. So we're needing 3 to wound against the Orks, and it's AP -1. So every wound is a kill. So there's 6 Orks dead off the Immolation Flamer. So 4 left. And then we're going to shoot our heavy bolter at them, needing 4s because we're moved. We get 2 hits, 3s to wound, 2 more dead at AP -1. So only 2 Orks left. That could be a bad morale check on the cards for them, but we'll have to find out later. Okay, we moved on to this Exorcist. We didn't move it, we're just going to try and finish off that truck in the distance. And we rolled later, so we've got 2 wounds of 6, 2 wounds of 4. So these need to be saved on 6s because you're in cover. Doesn't save them right. He's only got 3 wounds left, so it doesn't matter what we roll there, and it doesn't matter about Ramshackle. He's being killed. So the truck goes down. There's no one there to suffer any explosion result. So that's that Exorcist done. Alright, moved on to this Battle Sister squad. So we'll find the Heavy Flamer first at that nearest unit of Orks, killed 3. And the bolters have killed another 2, so 5 Orks have been killed in this squad, ready to be taken off. Right, 2 Orks left in that squad on the left. So there's the Knob with the rocket and there's the big shooter, so it's worth trying to take those out. So what we're going to do, we've only actually got 2 Retributors, I can see. We've got a heavy bolter and a multi-melter. So we're going to fire the heavy bolter at them first, needing 3s to hit. Only 1 hit, needing a 3 to wound, don't wound. Right, we're going to use a Cherub to fire that heavy bolter again. Right, 3 hits, 3s to wound. All wound, right, so you need 3 saves on your custom force field. Fails all 3, and then you've got, don't forget you've got your feel no pains of your pain boy. So you need 6s now. Does get 1, so that Knob will be left with a wound. But we have lined him up with that last multi-melter, try and get rid of that rocket. So he has hit, needs a 2 to vaporize him. It's a 1. We're going to command point and reroll that. We'll get it. He needs to save on a 5, where he's invulnerable. He gets it. Oh no. Alright, so there he is, the Knob, with 1 wound left. Now we're faced with a choice here. We can either fire at the big unit with this sister squad, or we can try and pick him off, because he's got a rocket, and that's serious stuff when you've got vehicles. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire all these bolters at that 1 Knob with the 1 wound remaining. So we've got 4 bolters and we've got a storm bolter. So that's 6 bolter shots at that wounded Knob. Real 1s because we're within 6 of the Canoness. And then 4s to wound him. Look at that. That's great. 5 wounds on the Knob. He's still within range of the custom force field, but not within range of the pain boy anymore. He's dead. Drops to the floor in a green heap. And the sand blows over his corpse. Forgotten forever. Alright, it's been so far so good for the sisters. We're going to fire the Exorcist now. So I did move this one to try and get a better line of sight on those bikes just peeking around the corner. So we'll be hitting on 4s, and to help us out once again, we're going to play the stratagem for devastating refrain. So there's another command point down. So this once again is re-roll random shots. So we're going to get... well, we're not even going to re-roll that, so it's a wasted command point because we rolled very well straight away. So that's 3, 2, and 3 again. So hitting on 4s because we moved, and no 1s to re-roll, but that's okay hitting, I suppose. 3s to wound on these bikes. Only 3. Right, so you are within range of the custom force field, so 5s to save. All go through, but he does have feel no pain as a bike. Okay, he does have his feel no pain here for the bike, so he's not totally at the mercy of the rockets, or is he? So the first shot is damage 6, so he's going to need 6 6s.
That's It's easily done.
Or at least 2 6s. Sorry, 4 6s. 5 6s. But he's dead. I can't get this in my head right. So he is dead. That's what happens when you roll a 6, basically. Second shot is a 5, right? Again, 2 wounds each. He's going to need a lot of 6s. I'm just going to say
5 6s.
that. Now there's another bike dropped, and then the last shot, 3. So he's going to need 2 6s. There we go. Maths has worked in the end.
6.
1 6, but no, he is dead. So there's 3 bikes down out of that 5-man squad. I'm getting Orc Brain on the maths here.
3 wounds, isn't it?
Orc Nob has 3 wounds, so he'll be okay, but you just take it from any of the bikes. It's a bit confused there because you thought he'd relapsed into 7th edition rules where you take the nearest model, but he's actually electing to take that damage on the Nob bike because he's got 3 wounds just to try and save a bike. So, okay, that's fair enough then. So he's lost 2 bikes and the Nob's on his last wound.
Yeah, 6 shots.
That's fair play. Alright, so the Nob's going to try and weather the heavy bolter to try and stay alive. So we reroll 1s. We get all hits because we're hitting on 4s because we're moved. No wounds because the bike's a toughness 5, so he's got away with it there. Right, so now we're going to try and finish that squad off with the damaged immolator. So the immolator's firing everything at the bikes because we're in range, but we are knackered. So the heavy bolter is going to have to hit on 6s. He gets 1 hit, needs a 4 to wound. He does, right, so it's back on your custom force field.
Nope.
Doesn't make it, and then you've got your feel no pain as 6. He gets the feel no pain, so the Nob survives. And we've got the immolation flamers, so these are automatic hits, so we're not really bothered about the damage. So there's 10 nasty stuff. The true Orc killers, the natural enemy for the Orcs. Historically. Right, so these are strength 5, so we're needing 4s again. That is only 4. You're going to need to lean on your custom force field again. So 4 needing 5s. He gets 2. What's that one?
2. What's this one?
That's a 4. So he's taking 2 wounds and needs 6s on the pain boy. 1 saves. So he's taking the wounds, so the Nob has died in the end, and that is 6 shots eclipsed. Alright, that is the end. There's no more to shoot. And thank God it was getting hard to rescue the dice and all those pillars. Alright, so no more for the sisters. So it's points. We got 1 point at the end of our turn for this one, 1 point at the end of our turn for this one as well. So we're up to 6 victory points now. And one of the biggest things that happened is we reduced that Orc unit down by 8, the only leadership 7, so even if you rolled a 1 on his morale, he's still going to run away. So that Orc unit is now gone, and he's not holding that objective anymore. So we've got that squad's gone now, so he's going to have to rescue that objective if he wants to pick up some extra points. It's turn 2 for the Orcs, and plenty of thinking's gone down, or thinking, as the Orcs would say. But before we do, everyone has to forgive us because I'm still green with the sisters.
I'm green.
True. The Orcs are green, the sisters are green in battle experience. We killed the truck last turn, and we'll get a chance to get we get a miracle dice, and it's going to be a 5. So every time you kill a unit, you get a miracle dice. And we forgot about it, so there it is. We've got another 5 in the pool. Right, so here we are in the Orcs' perspective. So they've started to move like this. So all of this this rabble down here is pulled to the left because this is objective 6. This is the one that's going to last the game. So they're trying to reinforce this. The bikes are swung around to the corner. It's worth noting that the bikes passed the morale because they used the mob rule of this 10-man unit here. So they're swinging around trying to attack the Repentia on the side there. This immolator is still on 1 wound left. So a flash of green warp energy and the Morkanaut lands down right in front of these sisters, securing objective 4. It's a big menace now. Remember, this has got the sparkly bits custom job. It's going to hit on 4s. It's going to be devastating. He's paid the price for leaving it off the board, but he should see some good returns from it. And the tank busters, not where he wanted them to be really, but they're going to take this objective and they're going to fire the rockets at this fresh immolator. Now these are an incredibly good unit. They've got every chance of just taking that immolator down in one volley. Right, we're going to start a shooting phase with the tank busters at the immolator. So there's 9 on board. They're going to hit on 5s and re-roll all failed hits because they're firing at the vehicle. Right, already 2 hits, but those are daggers. So he's going to re-roll his misses first, then we'll count the daggers later. Right, there's 3 more hits and 1 dagger. So there's 3 extra hits with the dagger dice. 3 extra attempts at a hit, rather. 3.
2 ones there.
Doesn't matter because that was a re-roll.
Oh yeah.
He's getting carried away. His orc brain is setting in once again.
Duh.
Again, it's a good showing, and he can re-roll that 3 because this is a fresh attack, so you can re-roll because you're a tank buster.
Nope.
Right, so like I said, 1 volley is probably enough to take out anything in the game, any vehicle, almost. Right, 3's to wound because this is only toughness 7. And that's what we feared. 5 damaging attacks here. So it's AP minus 3. We're saving on 5s with the tank. Each of these are flat 3 damage. It's absolutely horrendous. Here we go. 5s to save. No, it's a disaster. We are just totally wiped out. We do have tricks to try and keep us alive, but not when we suffer damage like that. We just can't deal with that. So that's 12 damage. We are dead. Right, so as we can see, there's a big hole where the immolator used to be. He fired the big shooter off the truck down at the penitent engine, but didn't succeed. So we're going to go onto this side of the battlefield and see what these orcs are going to pump out. There's lots of firepower here. Right, the orcs looking for retribution. We're going to try and take out all these nasty flamers. So this squad here, we can see all the boys who can, including a rocket, are going to try and finish off this immolator with the last wound. And then we've got a few stragglers on the end who are going to fire at this unit of sisters. So at the immolator first, the rocket is the red dice. So hitting on 5s. The rocket has missed, but there's still real 1s. Any 1s in there? There's 2 1s to reroll.
That's 2 daggers.
2 daggers. Going to generate extra hits, or extra attacks rather. So an extra hit, and then needing 5s to wound against this. 1. This could be it. This could be all he needs. It's a fill.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well done.
So what we're going to do is we shall command point reroll it.
Oh.
Command point reroll. It's a pass. It lives. Never ending immolator. Right, then the stragglers, as promised, fired at this Battle Sister squad. 1 wound, and we save. Good news. But there's still more to shoot. Still the surviving squad over here. There's the 2 bikes. And of course the mech, he's only 1 guy, but he's got 12 shots with the dead shiny shooter. So he can still pack a punch. Alright, so the big mech with his dead shiny shooter, he's going to try and take down the immolator by himself. So he's got 12 shots. Rerolls 1s. 3 to reroll. And 1 produces a hit. So he's got 3, 4, 5 hits. 2 are daggers. Reroll 1s. There's an extra hit. Right, so 5s to wound. He gets 2. Now this is crucial because it's AP minus 1, so we need 2 saves of 4, otherwise it's all over for this immolator. Oh, it might be dead. I think what we're going to have to do, we could use Moment of Grace here and keep it alive, and that would really anger the orcs. But no, we're not. We're just going to let it go. Does it explode? Hopefully not. It doesn't explode. So the immolator's down. It's gone. It's finally dealt with by the orcs. Alright, so we finished over on this side with loads of random shots going on down here, so we'll just tell you what happened. 2 sisters died here off some shooter shots. We lost 2 Repentia off some shooter shots here. The bikes fired in at the Seraphim and did terribly. The Seraphim actually survived that. So here's the big guy. He's ready to try and shoot some stuff with these shiny bits So he's got a ballistic skill of
Sparkly
4.
bits.
Sparkly bits. He's got a ballistic skill of 4. However, he's not going to be able to shoot at the stuff that he really wants because, luckily for the sisters, we've been able to push him back 9 inches, and the rockets and all the other secondary weapons are not in range of the exorcists. So he's had to go for a secondary target with all of his other weapons. He's chosen the Seraphim. So all weapons at the Seraphim except the big custom Mega Blaster, that's range 36, and he will target the Exorcist with that. So this order is renowned for being lucky, so that was a lucky stroke by pushing him back, because he's, with those range 24 weapons, he's just a hair out of that Exorcist. So here we go, he's the custom Mega Blaster, so it's 3d3 shots from this. So he's going to get 3, a 1 and a 3, 7 shots. Okay, 7 shots, hitting on 4s with that custom job. That's looking pretty spectacular. You can reroll 1s because he's a bad moon. And he did get a 6, so that's a data. Okay, that's scary. That's all hit but 1. So there you go, there's 7 dice laid out. Strength 8, and these exorcists are actually toughness 8, so 4s to wound. You've left a dice behind there, just to understat you. So 4s to wound. Oh, it's not great at all, only 2. Right, these are AP minus 3, so I'll be saving on its 6s. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a miracle dice to automatically save one of those out of my miracle dice pool. We've been saving that 6 for this very scenario. So we save one of them, and then we need to save the other one on a 6. We get only a 2, and it's d6 damage. However, I think what we'll do is we're going to boost that right up to 6, because what we're going to do, I think, no, 2 plus 3 is 5. It's still not going to be enough, so we can't actually do that. We do have a stratagem. Normally we can bail ourselves out of some trouble, but we're not going to be able to do that. We haven't got enough miracle. Moment of grace. I'll just explain what it is. If you play this card, you can take 1 to 3 miracle dice out of your pool and add them to your dice roll. So we would go, even if we went for the full 3, that would still only get us up to 5. So if only I rolled a 3, we could have saved ourselves. But it's going to be d6 damage. The Orks have found a way. And what is that? It's just disappeared. 4, it's a strong showing, not the best, but I'm sure they'll be happy with some damage. So these have got 12 wounds each, I think, so he's still in good shape. Okay, the Morganot finished the rest of its guns onto the Seraphim, and we actually weathered it fairly well. We lost 2, we've got 3 left. So it's morale checks. We won't lose any sisters because of this, because we only lost 2. But it's all a matter of, do we gain a miracle dice if we roll 1? So nothing for them on them. No. And the Repentia, because they lost 2. No. So nobody breaks, but we don't get any miracle dice for heroically passing. And the Orks for their victory points. So it's going to be big gains for them here. So they've got 1 point there for holding that one, 1 point for the central, and 1 point for their main objective over there. So 3 points for the Orks. It's neck and neck. It's 6 and 6. Right, we're into battle round 3 now. We've rolled our miracle dice. We've got a 5 and a 4. We needed to do it at the start of my move because I needed to know what I was going to roll to advance and stuff. So we've got a 5 and a 4. We used the 5 to advance this unit over here, the Gemini, onto this objective. So because it's turn 3, objective 3 will now disappear. So that's gone from the battlefield, no longer to be claimed. And so now the sisters are holding on to this objective, and we're making a big push to try and wrestle objective 4. We're going to show ourselves as martyrs here for the greater good cause of the Emperor. So we're moving in on that objective. We've got our work cut out for us. We've got Celestine, we've got the Imagifier trying to toughen them up a bit. The hospital has been healing them all along, so we're back up to a 10-man unit, or 10-woman unit. The Canoness is strode out to try and give everyone reroll 1s because we've got a close range melter gun, and we've still got melter guns in that squad. We've got the Retributors with the guns trained on the Morganot, and the Heavy Bolters are going to try and mop up this Ork action in the gully here. The Exorcist has moved over to here to get a clean shot on the Morgonaut and to get within range of the Cannoness. So these two, this one moved, this one's stationary. Going to try and do all we can to take down the Morgonaut. And then over here, the Repentia have moved around the corner, and the Seraphim are moving up. So we can't just stay static. We've got to take the fight to the Orks, drive these greenskins back into the wastes. So once again, we're going to open up the shooting with this Exorcist. Did take some damage, but it's still hitting on 3s. And once again, to help us out, we're going to use Devastating Refrain stratagem, so we can reroll our random shots. So we're down to 2 command points left now, and this is how many shots we're going to get. 3d3. So we're not going to chance the 2, but we will reroll that 1. There we go. It's paid off. So that's a 3, and these are 2s. So hitting on 3s against the Morgonaut. Reroll 1s with the Cannoness. Reroll 1s. Oh no. Right, force a wound against this monstrosity. Oh dear. Tell you what, we might have to just bump one of those up with a miracle dice. We're going to use Moment of Grace for 1 command point, so down to 1 command point left. We're going to use one of our miracle dice out of the dice pool to bump this up to a 4, because that's how you spend them. So there's 2 wounds on the Morgonaut. You're going to need to save on 5s with a custom force field. 1 goes through, and we're going to use one of our miracle dice as an act of faith, because that was a stratagem to do that. This is the act of faith. We're going to use the 5 to do that. So he's taking 5 damage. We're not even going to chance rolling for it. So 5 damage on the Morgonaut. Because it's Order of the Sacred Rose, on a 5+, we get a miracle dice because we've spent 1. We do, finally. That never works. And it's a 6, thank you very much. So we can't use any more miracle dice for the shooting phase, but I think that was worth it, going for a 5. Alright, then we've got the Heavy Bolter at the Morgonaut. Reroll 1s and 5s to wound. 2 wounds, saving on 3s. 4s even, so 1 more wound. Right, and then we've got this other Exorcist. So he's taken 6 wounds so far. This Exorcist did move. We're hitting on 4s. So these are how many shots we're getting. That's pretty good, gotta say. So we've got 8 shots. Nice. Hitting on 4s though. What can we achieve? Reroll 1s because of the Cannoness. Right, that is pretty good though. 5 hits. 4s to wound. This alien beast. Oh, just 1 again. Could use a command point reroll here to try and make this work. Ooh, but we're not going to. We've still got melter guns and everything. We're going to let it go. We're going to let it go. 1 goes through. It needs a 5 on his invulnerable save. Oh, he gets it. Right, the Heavy Bolter hitting on 4s. Gets all hits. Needs 5s. No. Okay, let's reevaluate and come back. Alright, so we now fired this cluster into the Morgonaut. So Celestine started with the Ardent Blade, took a wound off the Morgonaut, and then we fired the Heavy Flamer, took another wound off the Morgonaut, and the Heavy Bolters, sorry, the basic Bolters have just done another 2 wounds. So 4 wounds put on the Morgonaut. So how many is that in total now?
10.
10 wounds put on the Morgonaut. That's pretty impressive so far. And now we've got the 2 melter guns in the squad. So we've got a close range melter and a long range melter. So the close range hits, the long range hits as well. So the close range shot is going to wound on a 4. It does. Right, let's see if you save on your invulnerable. It doesn't, so it's 2d6, pick the best for damage. Oh, we'll have the 3 then. And then I need a wound with the basic, the long range melter gun shot. He does wound that as well. Oh, she does. So saves on a 5. He doesn't get it. This is a single d6 roll. It's a 4, right? So in total with that squad, that's 7.
17.
That's 17 wounds. How many wounds does he have? Does he have 16
18.
or 18? So he has got 18 wounds. He's on his last wound. And what we do have though is we reserved a crack grenade, because there's a sister at the front. She's pulled the pin. She's ready to throw it. Crack grenade. 3. 3s to hit. She's rolled a 1, but we are within 9 inches of the cannoness at the back there. She hits. She needs a 5 to wound this beast. Throws it straight into his gob, but he saves. He spits it right back out. Right, he's teetering the Morgonaut. We need to get that objective. We thought about leaving him and letting him off the hook so we can charge in on him, take our damage in the Overwatch and take that objective, but I think we've got a way we can do that anyway. So we're going to continue on the Morgonaut. We can't allow it to live. We've got a Retributor squad at the back here ready to deliver the medicine. So we're going to have all the squad at the Morgonaut except these 2 heavy bolters. They're going to fire down into that gap onto that unit of Orks. So here we go. We've got a bolt gun first at long range. Let's just start small. It does hit though. Needs a 6. No, it's a 2. We've got a plasma gun, a combi plasma from the superior of the squad. She will overcharge because we just have faith. Oh, but we can't reroll ones because the cannoness is right next to them. So she does hit, and she wounds on a 4. Oh, well, she's gonna have to try harder than that. Anyway, the melter guns now. The multi melters at the back here. We have the range. Do we have the ability? 1 hit. Needs a 4 to wound. We get it. Right, need to save on a 5. Doesn't do it. It doesn't matter what the damage is. He is destroyed. Does he explode? Now this could cause a lot of upset. No, he goes down. Crumpled, dysfunctional.
2 people on board. Well, gone people. Orks.
Oh yeah, you got a guy on board, haven't you?
Oh, one of them dies.
One of them's dead.
Guess who's going to die?
Right, so the his runt's gone. He's took the blow for the Big Mac. So he gets out and he's got to be an inch away. So that's a success, a big success. And because we killed the unit, that's a miracle dice. We get a 3. So we're finished off with the Retributors firing the heavy bolters down through that gap. Didn't kill very many, only killed about 2 or 3. So we used the Armorium Cherub to fire a heavy bolter again, and only picked up another Ork. Then we fired this squad, just 4 shots between them, but killed 4 Orks. Snipers, these ones. So this Ork unit here is only down to 2 men left. And so what we're going to do is we have our Seraphim to shoot in on them, and then our Repentia to try and mop up what's left. So the Seraphim is going to try and finish them off. These are bolt pistols, 4s to wound. We get 1 wound, so you need to save on your custom force field again. Saves, and then we've got a plasma pistol. Hits. Wounds. Doesn't get the custom force field, and the pain boy doesn't save him either. So he's got a big shooter and a knob left in that unit, so you can either take a wound on the knob or you can lose your big shooter. He's going to put a wound on the knob. Okay, it's time for the charge phase now. We're going to have this unit of sisters charge into that big mech. Now he's got the gobshot thunderbus, which is like a heavy flamer. So he's going to get automatic hits off this. It's going to be absolutely terrible, but it's we need that objective. We're going to have to do it. So we're going to let him do his Overwatch, and then we're going to have to see what's left standing. He's got a teleport blaster and the gobshot thunderbus. It's going to be awful. Alright, so this is how this combat's ended up. We lost 4 sisters in the Overwatch because he's got a double heavy flamer basically with AP -1. Luckily the Imagifier blocked that -1 to the armor save. We did lose 4 in the end though, so they've gone into the combat, and then Celestine is quick to follow. She's going to try and cut down this warlord. We've got another charge to make over here. It is onto the knob and the big shooter. We're going to charge the Seraphim in first, and then the Repentia will follow. Okay, we don't lose anyone in the charging there, so they go in, both the Seraphim and the Repentia. So we're ready to do some of the Emperor's work, but we're going to allow Celestine to be the first one to strike. So she's got 6 attacks. She's actually got an extra attack because the Preacher is behind her. So 7 attacks, and remember this is the cleverest boss, so he's got an extra wound. So he's got 6 wounds. He's got an invulnerable force save because of his Warlord trait as well. He's going to be a tough cookie. Will he be tough enough? Hitting on 2s. We got all but 1. And then we're wounded on 3s with the Ardent Blade. that is no good. She's failed miserably. 2 wounds, and you're saving on 4s with the best armour. And he fails 1, so that's 2 wounds. He's got 4 wounds left. So he's got no command point to try and intervene in the combat, so we're just going to fight with all the other sisters now. And we've got a sister with a power sword, Sister Superior, and her unit is within 6 inches of the preacher, giving her an extra attack. So hitting on 4s with a power sword gets 2, needs 5s to wound. That's the hard part with the sisters. No. And then we've got a load of basic attacks, so that's 5. So we've got 5 attacks, but we've got 10 because of the preacher and need more dice. Alright, the basic attacks, I've got enough dice now. 4s to hit, that's pretty good for sisters, but now the hard part, 5s to wound. Get 1, saves on a 2, saves. Okay, that's not went very well for us. And then we've got this combat over here, so we're going to have the Repentia fight first. And so here come the Repentia fighting in that combat. So we've got 4 attacks, needing 4s to hit, but we are zealot, so we can re-roll failed hit rolls, or failed hit rolls. No, just hit rolls. It's not the old way. Anyway, ignore me. 3s to wound. Right, so there we go. It's AP minus 3. They've just been killed outright. There's just no way. Oh no, you've got your pain boy saves. So these are 2 damage each, so you need 2 6s for this one. So he's dead, and then 2 6s for that one. Okay, that's the whole squad dead. Good work, sisters. Okay, the Repentia are the ones that killed the unit, so they move on, and the Seraphim, they did issue a charge, so they get to consolidate and pile in and whatnot. But they don't get to fight, but they have gone in on those bikes. So while they can't fight the bikes can fight them. So there's 3 attacks each, and they're hitting on 3s. And all hit, and 3s to wound. Hopefully we don't kill all my sisters here. Oh no, all 6. Alright, so 3s to save.
Shot into
Oh, we saved all but 1. So that's worth it, because we didn't want to get shot by those guns and then charged anyway. So we've tied them in. That's a success. But we've now got this war boss to fight. Alright, Mogrot, the cleverest boss, Big Mech, he's going to now fight. So with that enhancement on his profile, he's going to have 4 attacks, and he's going to hit on 3 with the Power Claw, because he's got an enhanced weapon skill.
And he's going to fight the sisters.
And he's fighting the sisters, yeah. So 3s to hit, he gets all but 1, and then he's needing 2s to wound, which he gets all of them. So this normally would be devastating, but we have Celestine to upgrade the Armour of Faith by 1, so invulnerable save is 5 now, and then the Imagifier with her Warlord trait, her extra Warlord trait given at the start of the game, she's within 9, and that's going to give them a +1 to their invulnerable save again. So the 7 on 4s, quite a durable unit if I can get the dice rolls, but I get 1. So I've lost another 2 in that squad. That's bad news, but we still are on the objective, and that is the main goal there. So we've only got 4 left in that unit, fighting hard, dying slow. Right, so that combat is resolved now. We took a bit of a kicking on that sisters unit. We lost 6 sisters in there, and we're leadership 8. So that is bad, because that gives us leadership 12. However, with this order, you never lose any more than 1 model. So we've lost another model, and we'll take the Simulacrum. Actually, no, we'll not. Yes, we will. No, we'll take the melter gun, because there's no more vehicles really around, and we need the Simulacrum probably more. Yeah. So there we go. Right, and then the last thing for this turn is victory points. So we score 1, 2, and 3, because we've still got more. We've actually got objectives secured with our Battle Sister squad, so we claim that objective. So we've got 3 points for the sisters, taking us up to 9. Okay, Orks turn 3. It's fighting tooth and nail now. Ooh, so we've got the 10-man Ork unit has come back over here to rescue the cleverest boss, Mogrot. They're going to charge the 3 remaining sisters, no doubt. He's still locked in combat, so no shooting to be done there. The tank busters, they've backed the truck up into the building. They're going to try and just get within range of the exorcists. So this whole portion of the board has pretty much been left by the Orks now. It's just a bit of fight for their own objectives. And then over here, the characters look like they're going to deal out some death to the Repentia. So they've got the Pain Boy and the secondary Big Mech. And the bikes, of course, still locked in combat. Still going to do some damage. Right, so we've been shooting with the Orks. So this squad fired where they could. They couldn't fire at this cluster of characters because the Battle Sister squad's nearer. So they fired down, killed a sister here. And that's all they could muster, really. And over here, these fired their pistols in combat, the bikes, and got our armor saves. So not much on the shooting front from the Orks, except this unit of not looters, the tank busters in the truck are backed up into the building. They're going to fire onto this exorcist, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so the 9 shots hitting on 5s, but they're going to reroll all failed hit rolls against vehicles. So he's got 1 hit so far, and he gets to try again.
Good shake. So.
He's just love killing vehicles, these boys. Alright, so there's 4 hits in the end and 1's a dagger.
2 dice.
Okay, that's unfortunate.
It's tiny, isn't it?
Right, so 4s to wound. It's devastating stuff. Don't like it. Oh, not very good. 3. Well, I'll tell you what, because only AP -2, we're going to use some miracle dice again. I'm going to use a 5 out of the miracle pool to save one of those, and I just need to save another 2 on 5s.
That's all.
We save 1, that's only 3 damage. So we've survived that. There's a thing with these tank busters that either just take it out completely or they don't. Okay, so because I used the miracle dice there for Order of the Sacred Rose, on 5+, I regain 1. Nope. Right, so back over here, onto the Repentia, we've got the dead shiny shooter with 12 shots. He's going to try and cause havoc. And he gets 2 hits, 1's a 1, so you can reroll that. Or with the 2 1s, I can't really see.
No. And then you've got 2 dice.
2 dice, good amount of hits so far. And you can reroll that 1, because it was a 1. There's just so much going on with these dice.
So that's
3's to wound.
Lots. 6.
Sporting like a true orc. Lots. So 6, and we've got invulnerable saves of 6 with the Repentia. Make 1, and then we've got Feel No Pains. We're probably not going to make it through this at all. It was a good effort, but that squad's wiped out. So there was only 2, and because they're wiped out, you gain a miracle dice because they fulfilled their suicidal role in life. So it's a 6. Nice. Alright, charges for the Orks. So this unit of Orks goes in on the sisters. They stay away from Celestine. They don't want any part of her. And this unit around here, they're just going to look to finish off the Seraphim. Right, so resolving combats now. So over there, the 2 power claws were more than enough to tear down those 2 Seraphim. It was easy work, and the Pain Boy moves on. Over here, the Orks go in onto the sisters, and they've dealt out 9 wounds on the sisters to save on 3s. And it's not a good time for the sisters. That's the whole squad gone. Can't do anything about that. So there's only 3 left. Even if we command point reroll it, it's just not enough to keep them alive. And by doing that and them all dying, the Orks are going to swarm in on that objective and score themselves a point.
And they'll consolidate onto her.
Yeah. Right, we're back around here for the showdown between Celestine and the, what's he called? Mogrot. These piled into Celestine, it's worth saying. So the Mogrot's going to fight. He's got 4 attacks because he's the cleverest boss. He hits on 3s because he's got a better weapon skill with that stratagem. Wounds on 2s because he's dead strong, but not strong enough. He only gets 1. And what we're going to do is we've got a 6, a 6 and a 4 in our miracle dice pool. So we're going to spend the 4 to automatically save on our invulnerable save. So she just turns that blow. So right, now Celestine, she's got 7 attacks still because the Preacher is within range. And I think, to try and cause upset here, we're going to turn these blows onto the boys and try and cause a morale check and take them away from the objective. So that's what we're going to do. Or should we just kill Mogrot? Ooh, I'll tell you what, 1, 2, 3, we attack Mogrot. We attack Mogrot. So here we go. Hitting on 2s. Wounded on 3s, come on. For the Emperor. She gets 4. He's got 4 wounds left. Saving on invulnerable saves. He's failed 2 and it's 2 damage each. He's gone. There's no dice to command point reroll. The king has fallen of the Orks. So it's down to this big mech to take charge. Let's see what he's got in his head, if he's got a brain or not. But Celestine is triumphant in that exchange.
He's got a metal plate.
So that is the end of turn 3 for the Orks. So they've got 2 points there. They're controlling this objective because they've got more. They've got objective secured troops, and over there they've cleaned out all the sisters. So there's 2 points for the Orks, but they did lose their war boss, their warlord. So it's a point for the sisters. That's going to take them up to 10. And what are the Orks on with that additional 2 that you just scored there?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So the Orks, legendary for not counting or paying attention. Right. So who knows what the Orks have? The Orks are still busy counting on the fingers. But anyway, we killed a unit there with a war boss, so we're gaining miracle dice. 5. So the miracle dice are coming in thick and fast here. Okay, it's turn 4 for the sisters, and well, it's the start of the battle round 4, so there's things to do. We shall do our miracle dice first. So the 1 for being sisters, get a 4, and the 1 for Celestine, we get another 4. And because it's turn 4, now objective 4 disappears, so this hotly contested objective right where Celestine is now just evaporates into the ether. So the only ones left on the table now are number 5 here, number 1, this is the permanent one, and the 1 in the corner over there. Alright, movement for the sisters then. So over here we're not moving anything, it's still the nuclear deterrent having the penitent engine there. It might be overkill now, but if we broke cover, he's not going to get anywhere. You might as well just stay there and look tough just in case. So we just drop back. All the characters except Thaddeus drop back to the main objective. The hospitaller runs a great distance because she's young and small. She's got youth on her side and she's got loads of energy on her legs. She runs 12 all the way back to this squad and then heals 1, so we've regained a sister. And the Imagifier comes back. Pretty much everyone stayed still. Celestine's going to stay in combat. We did think about leaving combat, but we're just going to deal with these Orks, and Thaddeus is going to join the fight as well. So there's just this unit of Orks and the tank busters here that are a big threat to the sisters. Over there, I think we're just going to allow the Orks just to have their own little party in the corner. Because the thing about that objective going this turn is there's just 1 objective here, and the sisters have the 2 objectives here. So it's up to the Orks to come and get us now. We've took the fight to them. They've got to come out of their corner.
By no stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, so it's time for shooting. Let's see what happens. Right, so we've got all this stuff to fire. We started with this Exorcist first, firing at the truck, and we did our rolls because it's just systematic destruction at this point.
Systematic.
And we've taken out the truck pretty easily. Didn't get any ram shuttle rolls, so there we go. The systematic destruction of the truck. How many people will die in this process? So there's 9 on board, anyone's.
Dignify them by calling them people.
Everyone survives the blast. But does the truck explode? We haven't rolled for that yet. So on a 6, the truck will explode and cause major havoc amongst the ranks, but no.
Goes quietly into the night.
Yeah. It was out of fuel anyway, the Orks were just having a laugh. So anyway, that's a full squad of tank busters getting out in cover. It's not the end of the world for them, it's just the end of the truck. Right, we're going to do this exorcist. We've decided to put it on camera because it might be pivotal. Right, so we're going to have the heavy bolter at the tank busters, but we're going to do the exorcist missile launcher all the way to those bikes in the corner. So the exorcist launcher, it's going to get a lot of shots again. These things are so good now that the D3. That's how all weapons, blast weapons should be. Right, so hitting on 3s against those bikes. Real 1s because of the canonets. Pretty good. 3s to wound against those bikes. Not too great, but we've got 3, and you've got your custom force field saves.
It doesn't work.
But it's not to be. So there's 3 hits there. The pain boy isn't within 3. So the first one is killed, and the next 2 dice will kill the last remaining bike. So that's the bike squad gone. Because we killed a unit, that is a miracle dice. Our miracle dice is a 4. Got loads of miracle dice now. We've got all these miracle dice, and we don't really have much to do with them. So, right, we'll just regroup here. Oh no, we've still got the heavy bolter, sorry. Heavy bolter at the tank busters. 1 hit, no wounds. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to fire this squad, the Retributor squad, and 2 pistols from the Gemini into the tank buster squad. We're just going to do it all. We'll see what's left standing at the end of it because they've got no other targets. Alright, so the destruction's continuing. So we blasted this building with all the bolter shots we could. We took out 4 tank busters in that building, so there's 5 left. So now we've moved on to charges. So Thaddeus is charged into this unit. The Gemini are going to charge into the tank busters. So he's got 5 to overwatch with. He gets 1 hit and it's a dagger. He's still only 1 hit, so he needs a 2.
Oh.
Oh, it's a 1. So you're home free. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a double 6 out of our dice pool. Or might as well use a 5 and a 6. We don't want to spend our 6s. 5 and a 6 for our charge range. So we're going to go 11 because you can use 2 dice for dice rolls that involve with 2 dice. It's very, very complex really when you. It looks simple, but it can be really complex. The miracle dice, but it probably is the best version of miracle dice the sisters have had. But anyway, there we go. So they're in to the building. They're within 6 of Thaddeus, giving them an extra attack, and they will fight first. So let's check the profile. Alright, so we've come over here for the fight. So the Gemini, within 6 of Thaddeus, they've got 4 attacks each. So they're hitting on 3s. And that's fairly good. And we've got 4 hits. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend one of our 6s from our miracle dice to make 1 automatically wound with a power sword. So that's killed 1 automatically. Because it's the fight phase, not the charge phase, that's why we get to use a miracle dice. So yeah, there's 1 dead, and then I need to wound on 5s with these. It says 4 dead, there's only 1 left, and it's the knob. But then Thaddeus gets to fight. He's got 4 attacks with his power maul. Gets a reroll because he's zealot. He's hitting on 4s. Gets a wound on 3s, and he's killed 2 of this Ork posse. Right, it's now ongoing fight. So Celestine, because it's this is a battle turn, she gets to fight. Still with 7 attacks because of Thaddeus. Drops 2 and then 3s to wound. Ooh, just 3. So 3 slain, no save involved there. So the Orks have lost 5 out of this unit, 4 out of that unit. Devastating blow here from the sisters. So that's the aftermath there. So the fighting back will be. Which one are you doing first?
I'll go Thaddeus.
Okay, the Orks mob is going to fight Thaddeus. So they've got 5, 10, 11 attacks because they've got the knob still in that squad. So hitting on 3s against Thaddeus. And wound on 3s against Thaddeus. Not great, the Orks have just lost the will to fight here. Strange for the Orks. forced to save on his Rosarius, and he saves them both. The Emperor protects today.
Nope.
He's already fought. Did you do 11 attacks there?
This one.
Oh, this one. Okay, sorry. So he's hit them all. 3s to wound this these Gemini. Just the one. He's saving a 3. Oh, 1 wound on the Gemini. They've got 2 wounds each. So that's it's bad news here. There's just no way the tank busters are going to pass that morale check. They've lost 8, and this squad have lost 5.
Yeah.
Or did they lose? Yeah, they did lose 5.
Yeah.
5, 6. They've actually passed.
Good. Yeah.
So that squad hangs on. This tank buster runs away. Right, so that's the end of the Sisters of Battle turn 4 there. So we'll pick up 1 point here, 1 point here. It's going to move us to a nice comfortable 12. What we've decided, we're not going to play the Orks turn. It's just over for the Orks. They've run out of steam totally. They've only got these 5 Orks left, and then behind this rock they've only got the Pain Boy and the Big Mech left. So they're going to hold that objective even for the rest of the game, because even if Celestine beats that unit, flies over there, she probably hasn't got the time before the game runs out to kill them. So the Orks are going to score a point there. There's just no way they're going to challenge the Sisters' points. So without Linebreaker involved or anything, they're just going to score 1 point. The Sisters are going to keep on scoring. Well, when we move into turn 5, that's going to go.
Yeah, these will get Linebreaker.
But the Sisters are already ahead. We've got Linebreaker in store, and the Orks just don't have the firepower. I mean, we've still got our main tanks. We've still got a lot of long-range fire. The Orks are never going to make it through. So the Orks are not stupid. They know when to quit. They're just single-minded. But they're not stupid. So the Orks are going to retire. They're going to pick up the best bits of all of the scrap that's lying around as they flee the battlefield. And the Sisters will move in and secure this lost facility and try and bring it back into the fold of the Imperium.